Primary School Köhlergasse, Vienna, 1979 to 1990. This project concerns the replacement of an old school building to provide space of all-day operation. The challenge was to accommodate all functions of a very small and steep plot and to respect the existing trees. To allow uninterrupted use of the school, the building had to be constructed in 2 stages. The site is located at the transition from the densely built urban context to a neighborhood defined by solitary, rather low buildings. The drawings reflect this context, hinting at the neighboring buildings in quite reduced but specific axonometric line drawings. Hollein's design concept attempts to respond to these circumentrants with relatively compact, large volume development towards the south and a more fragmented appearance of individual built parts towards the north. Smaller building parts also emphasize the differentiation. The roofed entrance, citing an element of surrounding buildings, the roof of the southern building resembling the battlement of a fortress, or the slightly ornamented fence in front of the northern building wing. These wing houses the doctors' and teachers' offices, the director's office, classes and the recreation rooms. The southern wing accommodated the gymnasium, workrooms, music room and library, a garage, the school caretaker's apartment and classrooms, an assembly hall and a dining room connect the 2 parts of the school. Another building part in the west also contains classrooms. A special characteristic of the school is the variety of exterior spaces, such as the plaza next to the entrance, the outdoor exercise space above the gym, the terrace above the main hall, the brickyard, the garden, and the open-air classroom pavilion. The distribution of the classrooms into multiple building parts creates a complex topography of plazas, platforms, and staircases that allow for views across the various spaces. In our impression, the arrangement of plazas, columns, and walls is reminiscent of old town squares.
Hollein designed the classrooms to have unique geometric characteristics. The classrooms in the western building have a vaulted ceiling, the ones in the eastern part are covered by a pitched ceiling and an overhead window. The classroom looking out onto Köhlergasse in the northern building has 2 rows of square windows, and the classrooms looking out to the garden are circular in plan. In tune with this all-encompassing understanding of architecture, he intended for children to switch classrooms annually so that they experience different spaces. However, the logistics of cleaning out the rooms and moving the pupils' possessions every year was deemed too challenging. The specificity of architectural gestures is not limited to the classrooms. As in most of his projects, Hollein employs historic and exotic references. He also assembles materials, textures, shapes, and appearances to create a playful architectural collage. This already becomes evident in the entrance situation. A small baldachin painted with the night sky stands on top of a cylindrical bay window, stuccoed with a pattern resembling dry stone masonry. In all publications of this project, the plans and isometric drawings are rendered in a uniform line thickness to represent the building, the urban context, and the landscape. Apart from putting an emphasis on the integration of the school into its surroundings, Hollein highlights the specific roof shapes and facade details. We used a similar simple strategy for the elevation in order to make even more evident the transition of urban contexts. In our explosion drawing, we tried to show other important aspects than Hollein did. While he focused on the urban surroundings, facades and volumes, we looked mostly at the complex topography as well as the diversity of spaces. We applied bright colors to set the building components apart from each other and turn them into architectural objects. As a result, the project could be read as a complex assembly of geometries rather than as a single school building. In conclusion, it can be said that the primary school Köhlergasse is a very complex and formally rich building, featuring the plaza-like plan strategy and topographic diversity in section that Hans Hollein explored in other projects. Furthermore, the school is also an intriguing reaction to the urban context and displays well-considered architectural gestures suited to its users.